it going, everybody? I'm out on another bushcraft campsite scouting mission. I've come to another location and I'm already seeing signs that it's going to be probably nicer. Only problem is it's probably a bit more accessible. And I've already seen signs of dirt squirters coming up through here too. So we'll keep going for a bit of a look and see what we can find, but I'm pleased to see that we've got signs of a better natural watercourse down here. So for the winter time we might have some better chances of finding water closer to the campsite. So I'm just going to follow this gully up for a little bit, and again we'll be looking for those intersecting gullies to find those little clear patches of land where we could possibly make a campsite. The good thing is there's plenty of river rocks up this way that we can use as building materials, and I'm already seeing a lot of deadfall, so we'll in the building material stakes we should be looking pretty good. Well, that's a bit of a bugger, that's not a very good sign. There's a trail that runs up this gully, and it looks like there's evidence of motorbikes coming through here recently, even as recent as today. So not a good sign, but we'll keep going for a little bit further and see if it probably branches off into another gully that we could use. One thing I've got to be really wary of in this area is mine shafts. So this area was very active during the gold rush back in the mid 1800s, so you've really got to watch your step wherever you go, because there could be hidden mine shafts everywhere. So I'm really conscious of any depressions that I see in the ground that look sort of unnatural, and really keeping an eye out for that sort of stuff. But jeez, I'm blowing again. So yeah, really watching where I step at the moment. Doesn't matter how far I go, I'm still seeing evidence of dirt bike trails up here. So I was hoping the steeper it got, they would sort of peter out a bit, but they seem to be going up all the side gullies too, which is painful. So probably going to give this gully another couple 100 metres to see if the tracks peter out. Otherwise I'm going to backtrack and try another gully that looked like there wasn't any trails going up it. At least that's a good sign. We've got a bit of water here, which is good. We wouldn't have to go too far to get water. I can hear it trickling back here. Seems to be plenty of good bark trees that I can use for roof thatching around here, so that's going to be a real bonus. And that stuff comes off in really big sheets too, so you can kind of overlap it like terracotta tiles. Make for some good waterproofing on a roof. There's some more signs of the gold era. Look at this little track that's been carved into the hillside just going up this gully here. You'll notice that it's not wide enough to accommodate a motor vehicle, because primarily they were designed for the width of a horse or just a bit more, so definitely date back to the mid 1800s, that one. We might be able to use that to our advantage if we do find a campsite up here a bit further. Check this out, come to a beautiful little waterfall here. Obviously there's no water going over at the moment, but that'll look really pretty in winter time. Although it's starting to get very steep now. and we had rain last night, so it's getting a bit slippery too. So I reckon I'll go up to the top of this waterfall and have a bit of a scout from there, and if it's looking like it's going to be too steep from then on, I'll turn back. Right, well, this gully is getting narrower and narrower, and I don't see many more intersecting gullies on the map further up, so I think I'm going to call it quits on scouting up this one. Plus I did way too much walking through the watercourse on the way up, so you can imagine in winter time when there is actually water flowing down here, it's going to make it a lot more impassable. So I'm going to go back to my plan and go further back down and then go up one of those first few gullies that I saw that potentially didn't have many motorbike tracks going up in it. Whew! It's very humid today. One thing I've also got to be pretty wary of out here at the moment is it's rutting season for deer. A couple of days ago there was a bloke killed just down the road from here by a pet deer that actually gored him and killed the poor bloke, and I feel sorry for his family too, and his wife was severely injured, so all the more reason to be mindful of deer at this time of the year, especially male deer, because they get a bit silly. So my condolences to the gentleman's family. It's never a good thing to lose a family member unexpectedly like that. So this spot here's got a little bit of potential. There's a flat spot up here, which is a good thing because it's out of that watercourse down there. It's probably about 3 or 4 feet above the watercourse, and there's a flat spot here where you could build a shelter, and there's a couple of pools there that are already full of water, which would be good to be able to retrieve some water. And it is here at the confluence of 2 gullies, so I might put a mark on the map for this one as a potential spot, and we'll keep scouting, do a few more missions in the local area to do some more scouting for potential sites. But it's really pretty. It's got some water, it's got some flat ground, not as much as that first mission I did the other day, but in saying that, it is a hell of a lot easier to get to. There's plenty of building materials around here. We've got nice big rocks. We can build a cool little fire pit, fireplace thing, and plenty of building materials like bark and that sort of stuff to build roofs and the general structure of a shelter. So I might put a mark on the map for this one. This spot where I'm sitting looks to be part of that old mining road that I saw earlier. So you know, there isn't a historical aspect to it, but it's only probably 10-15 metres long and about 2 or 3 metres wide. So we'll put a mark in this one, I think. Yeah, I think it's good. I like it. There's only one thing that isn't going for it. It's got a southerly aspect, so the winter time the wind could sort of come howling up this gully here, sort of right into the camp. But we may come back later on when it's a bit cooler and see how it goes in that aspect. And again, we won't get much of that winter sun, which will be going over the north, which is up the top of the ridgeline there. So there won't be a lot of sunlight down here. That's the only thing that's going against it. Anyway, we'll keep moving on. Well, that's a slight bummer. That site that I was just telling you about is probably about 50 to 70 metres back up this gully, and I've already gotten back to where the motorcycle tracks are. So I'm not really liking that bit too much. I do want a little bit of concealment. It adds to the serenity. You kind of want to feel like if you are building a bushcraft camp that it's kind of your own private residence. I guess that's the whole idea of it, but yeah, anyway, that's the whole part of these scouting missions that I'm doing, is to try and find a site that's got that aspect to it. I think that's probably one of the biggest, most important ones, is having that seclusion and being hidden, so that, you know, while you're not there, people don't disturb your camp. A bit more evidence of that old mining track here. They've sort of built up a boom along here between the track and the creek there. Kind of like that aspect, that there's a bit of history to this location as well. So right, so I've come back to the first intersecting gully that I talked about that could be a possible alternate. You can see over here, that's the one I've been up already, but over here is the other one I was talking about. So I'm just checking to see if there's any motorcycle track activity or anything like that. What I have seen though is evidence of some more old mining activity here. I don't think this is a track. I think this is actually some sort of water catchment drain, perhaps. They've used to divert some of this water down, perhaps to a sluice or something that they've had down here to be able to sluice the gravel to get the gold out of it. So I think that's what that might be. I'm just going to follow it up a little bit, but I do have to kind of make a decision now because it's getting kind of late in the day. And I don't want to go too far up here, but what I might do is go up a couple of 100 metres, just seeing for signs of tracks or that sort of activity. And if I don't, well, I'll mark that in the memory banks, and I'll come back on another trip and go up this gully here, because I'm really seeing a lot of promise in this general area here. Although I do have to watch out for the mine shaft aspect. So fingers crossed, we'll go up here for a little bit. Here's a bit of deer evidence right here. This is a deer wallow. So you can see all of their footprints through there. And then there's a game trail that runs off downhill there. There is an old mine shaft right there. You can see where all of the dirt's piled up around the edges of it. I mean, it's most likely collapsed, but you never know what sort of timber or anything that might be in there that they've used as supports that could be creating a cavity that, if you stood on there, could possibly give way and you could fall down God knows how deep a hole. So that's why you've got to be really wary travelling through this country of that sort of stuff. And once you get your eye in, you can start to see the stuff that looks a bit unnatural. Like, remember how we caught the eye of that little trough that comes through here, and you can see another mound just through the scrub there too. So always got to be wary of stuff that looks unnatural, piles of dirt or piles of rocks, that sort of thing. So we'll keep going on. Here's another one over here. Whew. That one is still open. Look at that. This is as close as I am going to get. Right, we'll keep going on. I'm going to go about another 10 minutes up, and then I've got 10 minutes back to the truck. So if I don't see any evidence of any tracks or motorcycle evidence, I'm going to give this one a thumbs up and come back again. Well, I found what I was dreading. A fairly recently used motorcycle track. Oh look, I'm going to give it another couple of 100 metres and see what it does. We might get lucky and it might spear off up another gully, and we'll find something that's suitable for us. So this gully looks like it's also got an old mining road going up it there. You can see the side cut into the hill, and I reckon just here is evidence of an old sluice, or possibly a digging where someone's cut into there. And you can even see that mound of dirt over there that intersects with this one over here. It may even be that they've dammed this up at some stage, and this area in here has been a big pool of water, because you can see that they would just have to block across this bit here. So yeah, very interesting, and it would have something to do potentially with the sluicing. So what they might have done is that was dammed off and the water actually diverted around this way, and then went over this little spillway here into this one that goes down there. Really interesting, that's cool. Just when I thought I'd gotten rid of the motorcycle tracks, here they are, they're dropping back into the gully again. It looks like again they climb back out and go back out up the hill again. So perhaps if we just go a bit further past there, we might be able to find something better. Damn, these guys are crazy riding up some of those tracks. So look, I've come about as far as I've got time for today, so I'm just going to have to put a line through this one. If I can be bothered, I'll potentially come back here and go further up, but you can see that the gully's getting a hell of a lot tighter up there, and the potential for finding a good piece of flat ground really drops off. So I'll put a line through it. If I have time, I'll come back here, but just the motorcycle aspects kind of put me off a little bit. So, but we'll put it down as a potential. There's a couple other spots that I scouted on Google Maps that are a bit further up here that I might come back for. So hopefully the tightness of the gully means that the dirt bike tracks stop pretty soon, and then we can get up there and be a fair bit more secluded. So I'll come back and do a whole day in here, I think, and really give it a good going over. That's all I've got time for today. I didn't really give myself a lot of time today to come and scout out this area, and I knew it was a fairly extensive set of gullies to check out, so I think next time I'll give myself a whole day and really work it over so I can really make sure that I find the ideal spot in this area, because I really am keen to find something in this area. So as I said in the previous video, this is going to be a series of videos where I scout out to find the ideal bushcraft campsite, and then after that we'll transition into building a shelter, building the campsite up, different aspects of that. So hopefully it should be a really good winter of winter camping, where we can come out local. We don't have to do massive big treks to get where we're going. It's nice and local. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be plenty more of this content to come. And while you're at it, go and check out allthingsoutdoors.com.au. I put a little bit more content on the website there, talking about the trips that I've done. I've written blogs on a lot of those trips, so there's a fair bit more extra content over on the website, so head on over there and check out the website. And also don't forget, I'm trying to get a, what do I call it, a treasure hunt, a local treasure hunt off the ground too, so stand by for a bit of information about that too, which will be forthcoming in the next couple of weeks to a month. So stick with me guys, and thanks for watching. See you later.